All right. Welcome everyone. Kim and Latrice to From Startup to Takeover podcast. Kim, you gonna tell the people hello? You got to come off mute first, honey.
I'm sorry. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Did you hear me?
I hear you now, honey.
Okay.
Sorry, I was popping in a grape. Okay. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. What about you? I'm good. I'm good. I had a good day today. You know what? I got another person that I'm helping today. They wanted me to help them run their social media, get their social media up, and teach them how to make shirts.
Well, look at that.
Look at that. I said, wow,
Mhm.
that's good. They still can't hardly walk, but I'm going to slow walk it, baby, with it. I don't need to walk. That's what the computer for.
Absolutely. I was about to say you can sit down and teach, honey. You don't got to
Yes,
stand up.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So that was an exciting day for me today. So I had, a good
How did they
day.
find
Good.
out about you?
My website, not
Perfect.
my
What is your
website,
website?
my TikTok, my stuff, my YouTube, my stuff that I'm posting, and my book. I forgot to even mention that I got my books in today as well.
Tell the people about it. What's your
Uh,
YouTube?
my YouTube, it's the hair growers on the YouTube, but I put my book on the YouTube. See, the hair growers is part of what I do, part of me. So I
Mhm.
also advertise my book on there. I actually put it on there as a book so people could see it. And
Mhm.
I had a few copies printed out so that I can see them and see what I wanted to do or any changes in the
Yeah.
visual part.
Mhm.
And they are okay, but yeah, I need to change them a little bit, not for the look. It's yeah, well, the look, yeah, for the outside, like paperback or just paper, that
Mhm.
type of thing.
Mhm.
So, and the cartoon is three little hero cartoon girls. So kind of like
Mhm.
a, a animated cartoon book. Like no, how was in back in the day they had what was it? Cartoon the cartoon book, the little cartoon books you go in the store and buy the little magazine.
Oh, the ooh,
What
child.
what do you call them? Golly,
Comic book.
um, comic
Like
books.
like little
Yeah,
comic book.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to make them like a comic book type thing because they are
Mhm.
little characters of their friendship and bravery and courage, little characters, somewhat heroes,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they go and spread that out in their little African American little girls.
Okay. Awesome. So
Yeah,
you got African American little girls representing. Okay.
I do, and I love the book, and I wanted to have that comic book feel. So I did order a few copies, but I have to show them around, let people see if they have that comic book feel or what. I've
Okay.
already had my grandchildren to. They was like, I can read these. I can read this book. Oh wow, wow! They were excited. It was like I can read it, except for the 7 years old. He was like, well, Mama, it's hard for me. I was like, why? He was like, because I can't read the words. Of course, he's 7.
Okay.
But he'll
So
get
what
there.
age
He like
level is your book for?
it. I really designed the book for ages 7 to 11. Well, 7 to 10 in that
Okay.
age. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for you. You did give
Thank
them the
you.
name of your website, right? I feel like we kind of started talking about it and what it was, but did you give the name of your not website, your YouTube channel so they can go follow you over there?
Uh-huh. DA hair HAIR growers GROWERZ, the hair growers.
Perfect. Perfect. So you guys, you can
Mhm.
go over there and follow Kim on her journey as
YouTube.
she
Yes.
works her hair growth stuff. And she's like she said, she's
Yes.
producing books as well. And it's
Yes.
for the little bitty chocolate babies. Beautiful.
And if you would like to learn or even start, you feel free to reach out.
Perfect.
So how
All right.
about
So
you?
mm, my day, girl, I've been running. It's been raining all day. So I didn't get to ride my bike. Raining all day. I still went out to the garden Let me see what else. Man, I just thought about something. I put down some fertilizer and it just poured down. Oh,
So,
wasting my
so what?
efforts.
Oh, so what does that mean? Is the fertilizer any good?
Yeah. So, but the rain washes it away. I thought it was gonna
No.
be like the other days where you get just a little sprinkle, then it stopped for some hours, then you get another sprinkle because the percentage was like 35%, 40%. So I thought it was gonna be small, but baby, when it dropped, it came down.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and I had made my fertilizer with the banana peels and water, and then some with eggshells. Shot, it's gone. It's gonna get wiped away. So I'll do it again. I'll watch the weather to
Uh-huh.
see how much we're supposed to be getting. Because that just
Mm, mm.
that's okay. That's the beauty of nature, right?
Yes.
And here's the other piece: rain makes your food grow as well. That something
Mhm.
about that rainwater, honey, is right up there with the fertilizer. So it's okay.
Baby,
Mm-hmm.
it makes the grass grow. One day you
Girl,
come in the house and you come back out the door, the grass growing. That's what I said. The sun shine, but you don't see it moving. Just like
yeah,
that
that's it.
grass grow, but you don't see it moving. What? What?
Mhm.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
grass grow. Yeah.
yeah.
So water.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so that was my day, and then like I told you, we had an issue with the basement, so that's getting repaired. They're drying it out. They got fans going in there, drying it out. First, they had to peel everything back in that bedroom, and now they're drying it out. So I've been dealing with that, and then last minute had to go move, do something else with the other business last minute.
Mm.
So, and then I was able to shoot back here. We lost power. There was no internet, but by the time I walked in this door, both were restored. So I'm good to go.
Well, won't he do it?
Yep, absolutely.
Daytime so that you can still be on here. Gave us another opportunity to be on here to reach someone, just to change the way of thinking of something. It
Yeah,
could be this,
absolutely.
that we're still pushing through, like still not letting us stop. You know what? It's like being dedicated to the commitment.
Yeah, yeah. Pushing through. Not even,
Yeah.
it's not about being tired, just pushing through to make sure you commit. I mean, finish what you said you was gonna start, which this 30
That's right.
day challenge.
Mhm.
I realized at
Yeah.
first I was like, oh, this is gonna be smooth. Honey, I
Yes.
think what out of 3 days so far to 13, I've had to make sure I got here on time.
Yes.
Because life is happening, which is it's
Mhm.
fine, but it's crazy how things are turning out. But I am definitely still trying to make sure I can show up. If not, if I feel like I may not make it, I'm gonna take my laptop with me and turn on my hotspot wherever I am.
Mhm.
So is there anything that caught your attention that you wanted to discuss today, or nothing in particular?
Nothing in particular, just talking or anything like you seen today that might have struck a conversation.
There was something that I wanted to dive into. I was taking a look at different stuff, and I saw something where a guy was discussing pretty much what we talked about as far as the men reversing the roles, taking the lead in the home. And their
Mm-hmm.
conversation wasn't necessarily just like how so simple I stated it, as far as taking the lead and making the change to run the family dynamics, but it was about getting right with God. And then from there, once the men get right, because he was saying this particular guest was on a show and he was saying he wanted to really dive in deep with his homeboys,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always women around because he's married. He's been married for like 20 something years. But he was saying he didn't want to down them in front of the women because it's almost like it proves us in what we're saying. These men just are not right. They're not doing what they need to do, right?
Right.
So he preferred to have the conversation outside of those women, which I don't think make a difference. But he went into detail because now this is him on a podcast. And he was just saying that the men got to be honest. They have to hold each other accountable that they're just not right. They're getting married. They're tearing up these women. They're breaking up these homes, right? Because they're doing the wrong thing. They're rushing to get married before taking care of themselves. And remember, I was saying, I think it starts with the mind. Mentally,
Yeah.
they've got to be ready. And if they
Yeah.
don't take care of themselves, they're going to come in and they're going to ruin households. They're just
And
going to
you
ruin
said
their household.
and you said that it didn't matter if they talked to the guy in front of the woman.
Right. So like if he would have
Right.
had the conversation, because they're women. It's everybody was there with their woman, right? So
Right.
if you're there with your woman and y'all are having open, honest conversation, now that doesn't mean you put your man on blast, but you have
Mhm.
open, honest conversation about what it takes for a marriage household to be successful, not just longevity, right?
Mm.
But
Right.
if men are afraid to have that conversation in open dialogue with the wife and the husband, then I think you still kind of playing on not holding the men accountable. Because
Well,
if you go to therapy, they're gonna bring it out. They want both of y'all to talk about it, right? And
right.
if we're close friends, you're talking about years of friendship. I would hope we could sit down. Let's say you and I with our husbands, right,
Mm-hmm.
having a conversation, and one of us like, "Girl, we'll talk later." you see,
Yeah.
it's like, no. I think married couples should start having a platform because I think a lot of these platforms going around are single people talking about married people business. Do you remember me saying that
Yeah.
some weeks ago? But maybe married people need to start something where they're actually speaking for themselves and being vulnerable and honest. Like how they got these poor old grandmothers on here now talking about how miserable they were. I don't like that either because it's painting just one side. That's why I think it should be married couples having those discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Um
But you
and
don't
I
feel
think a
like
lot of times they're afraid of it because they know those men are not probably in the right place.
right. That's why I was about to say you don't feel like if they don't want to talk in front of the women that they could have their own group and discuss it and have dialogue with each other, and then they can gather together with the wives and be freely to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't think so?
Yeah. No, I said, yeah, that's the way. I said, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the way. I just prefer if everybody just sit around together and be honest. Because I think with marriage, people don't like the honesty in it.
Yeah, but you can't sometimes you just can't sit couples together without a mediator to just talk because it probably end up all everywhere. So,
You think you
you
would need
know,
a mediator with if it's friends?
sometimes, things could get off rail, even with friends and bumping heads with your significant other because of things might have been said. That's why I say should, they go separately and talk about these things. He take a group and talk about
Mm-hmm.
life things with the men, and then when they have discussed, had their dialogue, had their say, then they can all gather back together with the women and discuss, and it can be peaceful.
Nah, that don't mean it's gonna be peaceful.
You know, so
Oh, and
it
then
could
this is
get there
another thing.
bad
Every
altogether.
look,
But we
correction
get
isn't
each other
always
talk.
beautiful. Correction isn't always peaceful. It isn't always beautiful. We can't be afraid of the mess. You
Well, well,
know.
well. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% peaceful, but it won't be
Mhm.
so chaotic because
We
I
don't
feel
know
like
that yet.
if you put a group of couples
Mhm.
together and maybe those couples have issues, and
Mhm.
majority of couples do, and they have issues, but they're all sitting in a group talking. Don't you think some corruption gonna come out or something's gonna happen? Some kind of something gonna
Again, you know how I feel. Depending on who your circle is. Maybe you need to do better in your friendship.
yeah, but
I ain't no but.
yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. No account. Then the friends that you have maybe need to be a little bit evaluated.
And that is so.
Oh, let's ask this. What about how do you feel about friendship selection when you're married? Meaning, if all of your friends are single and you're the only one, do you think that could be an issue? Meaning a man or female?
I do.
You do?
Because
Okay.
you're around a bunch of single people doing single things.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in your thinking, you're gonna want to do some
Yeah.
one or
And
two
what's the
single.
advice that they can give you, honey?
Yeah. So you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be looking like, are these the only friends? I can't do anything that they're doing, but they're my friend.
Mm-hmm. And so even with that, now take the twist and say, okay, we're a bunch of married friends, which I don't do that either. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say it's a group of us and we're married friends. And what if a couple of those friends in there are not quite right? Do you continue their friendship or do you break if they don't want to change?
And what do you
Like,
mean? And
let's
what do
say
you
one of
mean?
your in the married couples, right? Let's say there's 5 married couples, and out of those 5 married couples, 2 of those couples are having a problem because 2 of them don't know how to stop being disrespectful,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about years of friendship, right? You look at 5,
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, but you're noticing the other person don't want to change because you got men and you got women, and then we're talking about friendships, not
Right.
associations. Do they decide not to befriend the married couple that is causing a hindrance, or do they stay in that relationship, that friendship, and just try to continue to mold them in hope that they'll change? Do you think that's important or not?
Well, yeah, I think if the friendship is old and they've
Hmm.
been in the friendship forever,
Hmm.
it's gonna be it's sometimes it's hard to pull back. It's like turning your child loose.
Hmm.
So it may be hard to do that in a old relationship, but a fresh relationship with friends, and you start getting all this and they're not changing, or still doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or that you don't approve of, that you wouldn't do, or you don't think is right, because people have their own life, they can do whatever they please. But if it's not for you, then I wouldn't even try to get in that relationship, or make it a thing. But an old relationship, I think it would be hard. I think
But
you would
doable, right?
huh?
But doable, right?
Yeah, but doable, because
Yeah.
I feel like it would end itself in some kind of way.
Ooh, yeah, and because there's gonna be a lot of issues. Yeah, and that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. And I think sometimes the hard truths, right? And I
Hmm.
think that's kind of what I got from the thing. I'm like, okay, so you didn't want to have them conversations. You know something going on. You see what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
then are you gonna get with your
Hmm.
homeboys and then just have a half-hearted man conversation and you saying something different? That's why I said about real friendship versus associations. Because some people
Yeah.
do have, it where they hang out, but they're not deeply close. You know what I
Right.
mean? Um, but I guess if we
Even
look
if
at it
you're
that way, is that
deeply,
something? Hmm?
even if you're deeply close, I wouldn't. I couldn't sit. Mm-mm.
You don't
I
think a
wouldn't
community like
want them to.
a God-driven community like that could exist?
No, it could not exist, because it will end itself. But it's like I'm saying, if it was an old friendship, I couldn't let sit there and act like I can't put my words together. Just say that question again. Let me rephrase that.
Child, I don't
What
know. That was a long time ago now. I can't even help you out.
see, the attention span. We're talking about the kids. The attention span. Did you?
Who talking about the kids? Attention span affects everybody. It ain't about just kids. But
That's why I see the kids. The attention. You're right, because
I
grown
don't know
ups
what you talking
attention
about. Look, these
span.
grown folk be forgetting. And we got the
Yeah,
same little problems.
yeah. Especially
Look,
when you get
think
age,
about
you trying to
if
put those
I am
thoughts
one
together.
girl and I gonna have 5 kids. Look.
You try to put the thoughts together, and sometimes you'll lose how you want to say it, and you don't want to say it
Girl.
the wrong way. So I was like, okay.
Well,
Um,
I don't know if I have that in me to not want to say it the wrong way.
no, I was saying about them being together. I don't think
Mhm.
I could not sit with my friends and say, oh, well, such and such did. Let's talk about how you did this, or how we can fix this, or how you did this, because this was that, because it would end up to a big,
I wasn't talking
big.
about like that. I was talking
Well,
about having conversations about marriages, what it takes to be in a marriage and how you work through and what's the responsibility. See, it's not necessarily that you got to go personal, right?
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
about,
You're right. Yeah,
yeah.
because I've done it. I've sat down, and we've done this, and then at the end of the day, somebody always be like, I don't want to hear it, but it be on the play side.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because we should be able to have fun.
Yeah, it's on.
But
It's
still
always
putting
on the
that
play
but
side,
still getting that information out there though.
right? Whether they
That's what I was
accept
saying.
it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I've had those. We've had. Ooh, yes, I've had those conversations with married couples, with my friends, and like I
Mhm.
said at the end, it's always like I don't want to hear that, but it's a playful type thing, not like oh we about that box it out. No,
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's always a
Mhm.
playful thing. So yeah,
And was
that
it
and
God driven at the time, or this when you were just, doing your thing?
no, yeah, nah. I mean, God always in it because my friends always be like, do we have to talk about God all the time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because why not? Because it's Him that does everything. It's Him that make us breathe and move. It's Him that He wants us to talk about Him. So if I can't mention His name in what we're talking about, so my friends always know, my family know. They act like they get tired of me talking about Him, but I don't care.
So that's on. Yeah. So I guess I'm talking about more so of because you remember everything that I've talked about is about the future and how we can change the dynamic. So I'm talking about more so of those families who are now after God's way of living, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's why I just think, well, maybe it's something I want. I think that could happen. I think could be important
Yeah.
because these podcasts and these
Mm-hmm.
panels, these people are
Mm-hmm.
single and they're
Yeah.
giving out this information. I'm just like, what?
And that's what I want people to know, that we're not trying to give out information, and we're just talking and telling you things that
Oh, I'm giving you my opinion though. This Latrice,
our
y'all.
opinion,
In the
yeah,
process
our
of talking,
views,
I'm giving you some information.
right, our views and opinion, and
Yep.
probably the things that we've already cooked up and baked and know it works.
Girl, absolutely. And coming from a married perspective, as well as not just a married perspective, but God's way, right?
The God's
So
way.
yeah, and I think that makes a difference because see, everybody don't care about that. They just out here living their life and want to do what they want to do.
They just want
So
to do
that's
what they
why,
want.
I always talk about changing the dynamic. So this is about a different type of family. This
That's
isn't
right.
the
Okay.
worldly way.
Yeah.
But I
Now,
think talking about marriages and
yeah, but
it's
you
beautiful.
know,
The ups and downs of it.
and I feel like if we talk about the ups and the downs, the bad, good
Mhm,
and the bad, then people
mhm.
will understand, get a little light bulb of something, and say, "Wow, has this the way I've been living? You
Yeah.
know, is my marriage? Let
Mhm,
me take a look.
mhm.
You know, let me see.
Yeah, because they
Am
say
I around these type of people in my relationships?
mhm,
Do I have my marriage around this type of these type of people? Do
right.
they have the same
Because it can
goals that
come into
I
your
have?
household.
Yeah, yeah,
It can definitely come into
yeah.
your household. So I always thought
It
that kind of
can.
stuff, even when I was girl married at 19, I always thought that kind of stuff was important
Mhm,
on who you're choosing as a friend and an intimate friend, close with, trying to hang out with. That stuff is so important. And I think sometimes people just dismiss it. Oh, that's my friend. I can just have my friend. No, boo boo. That's not how this works.
mhm, mhm.
You could just
I
have that
was
friend. You find
immature.
yourself in a lot of, huh?
I was immature of knowing about friendship, real friendship,
What do you mean?
until I didn't really understand this my friend.
Mm,
I'm just hanging with a lot of people, because I'm like thinking everybody want to hang around me. So I didn't really know what friendship really was. Or you know what I'm
mm,
saying? So as
mhm,
I grew and got older, over 30, yeah, over 30, then I
mhm,
started realizing these are not my friends. But because I was worldly, I couldn't see anything else but the world.
mm.
So
I
everyone
gotcha.
was my friend. But
Mhm,
once
mhm.
I realized who I was,
That's right. And
so
whose
now
I was.
who I was, and now I know back then that was not my friend. You're not my friend now.
Mhm, mhm.
And I have a choice,
Right.
and I can say yes or no, because the word said, let your yes be yes and your no be no.
That's it.
And I can be okay with it.
Yep. Because you have the right to decide who you let in. No one
Yes.
can make you do that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think
And
that's an important part of marriage, though. And so when he said that,
mhm.
I was just kind of like, you know, a little something.
Yeah, yeah,
So maybe that's the venue to start the conversation, not about them personally, but just about marriage and
yeah.
dating and intentional dating.
I feel
So
like
let me ask
before
you,
you
what
even
about
get married these
Mhm,
days, you
mhm.
should date at least 6 months. And I think you should even ask questions. I, so many questions that they're tired to answer the question. You, when you know them, you just, when you see them, you just know them because you ask so many questions. I think we should go back to, you remember back in the day, well, back in my day, we used to talk on the phone until we fell asleep.
Girl, stop playing. What do you mean back in your day? You ain't but what 5 years older than me? Maybe six pushing it. What do you mean back in
I,
your day? Our day, don't exclude me. They still do that
well,
though. Don't sleep
well,
on it.
I don't know how they
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
girl, they still sleep. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
But I
that's what
think go ahead.
people need to do. I don't think it's. I think it because it's a teenage phase where you talk on the phone until you fall asleep. I think adults should do that.
Let me tell you something. I disagree.
You disagree?
I'm playing. No, so let's say my husband go out of town for whatever reason. Girl, he think we gotta go to sleep on the phone together and wake up in the morning. The phone don't be dead. Let me tell you something. I'd be like, look, I got time for all this. I just want to sleep. I don't wanna wake up and see.
Well,
But
you know
yeah,
when people
if
go to
he's in
time
another
off,
state, honey, if he's in another state or I'm in another state, when it's time to go to sleep, it's getting on that FaceTime and I'm supposed to hear him snore as I try to go to sleep.
and
Girl,
that's still that love, that new love. It's so still so new
girl,
and
ain't
you
no new
get.
love. This
It
man do
is.
this.
It's still so new because
Samantha.
people go out of town, relationship, these go out of town on a business thing, baby. They be so glad to get away so they can have just their time, even
Oh,
it's work.
I'm
It's
sure
their
he'd be
time.
glad to get a little break, but then when it's time to go to sleep, he expect me to hear all that snoring. I be thinking, ooh, I got some peace, girl. And I hear,
Well, that's my
but you
opinion.
know what
That's
I
my
think,
opinion.
people? No, I'm picking. It's cute, kind of, sorta. But you know
I
what I
do.
think? I think if you're dating, maybe I don't know, but
Yeah.
let's. I think the problem is people aren't dating intentionally. And I remember having a conversation with one of my best friends, and I was just like, I think you should date with intentions. You need to let them know what you want, and if they don't want it, don't waste your second date. I look. I have always dated with intentions, though. I need to know what it is that you want. Well, up until my last marriage, because I thought I was done. But
Hmm.
anyway, I had always dated with intentions because I don't got time to be out here playing games. And I don't, I'm an extremist. I don't believe in dating you and dating you and dating you till I decide on who I want to date. I think that's improper. Um, but I know people are taught to date multiple till you find the one you want to date. Um,
Hmm.
it's just me. I disagree with it. I've never done it.
I
And
think
I
you
would
should
want
date six
anyone to
months.
do it. Huh?
I think you should date. Just date. If you're gonna, I don't know. I don't know about that
Mm-mm,
dating people because I don't believe in all that dating this person.
mm-mm,
Just I feel you just need to let it come to you naturally. Don't look for it because
mhm,
when it
mhm.
comes to you naturally, then you can do all those things because now it's organic. It came to you. You didn't go out looking for it. You're not at the club and buying drinks and doing this to get them to come home because it's really not.
So what you think everybody go to the club, they looking for somebody?
No, not for real. Because people go to club to dance now. Because I knew some older ladies that used to go to the club all the time, and I used to be like, "What is these old ladies in here? Those old ladies used to be so sharp." And I was like, "Nah, I know, grandma." And I was young then in this
Yeah.
club, but they were in there to dance because I used to get friends. Me and my sister-in-law, we would get friends with the ladies, and they were like, "This our aerobics."
Mhm,
And they were in the club dancing all the time. They used to be on the floor. I'm talking, I knew all the dances, but they were grandmothers, like older women. Older women. I
mhm,
call grandmothers. I call myself a grandma, but I'm saying now
mhm,
they were older women, and they
mhm.
were in there just out dancing. I'd be like, wow. And they said that was their aerobics. They would be there whatever we were there, dancing, sharp
Mm.
dancing.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, so I
Yeah.
think maybe tomorrow we can have a conversation about intentional dating, how important that is.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, you guys,
So
we're over our
fast.
time. So Kim and I have got to tell y'all good night.
Yes.
Thank
Join
you.
us
Thank you for
tomorrow.
joining us.
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah. So we will be here tomorrow for our continuation of our 30-day challenge for 30 minutes.
From
And
startup to takeover. Watch
and
us
keep in
work.
mind, I want you guys to know that I'm going to continue working on Kim and regarding our twice a week podcast going into about an hour.
30
And
minutes.
then this is when the 30-day challenge is over, Kim. Let it
30
go.
minutes. And
Well, I
girl,
tell
I
you
want
what. Hey, you guys, we might do it
every
where Kim get off and I keep talking. How about that? We'll look into it.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. We'll see how we can pull her into this change in the future. Anyway, thank you
That's a
guys
good
for
thing.
joining us. We will definitely see you guys tomorrow where we will jump on intentional dating. Is it or is it not important? From startup to takeover, we are
Watch us
out.
work.
Good night.
Good night.